What's up? You tuned into Rightfully Structured. I just want to speak on my journey of releasing toxic attachments. When I think back, it was something else. Because I can recall so many situations where it was like something like an awakening of the people that I was around. I went through this so many times. I'll give an example. When I was younger, I smoked weed when I was younger. And when it came to a point that I didn't want to do it anymore, it was bigger than what I expected to be. Now, I'm thinking, all right, I see how it's going to benefit me at the time. I'm seeing it. But everything happens for a reason. Because when I stopped, I started to be more aware of the people around me. I started to see things a lot more clear. Now, I'm not going to say it wasn't clear when I was smoking, but it was like, you know how it is if you been in that stage of, you smoked before or whatever, but it was a little cloudy as far as my vision. So once I let it go, then I started understanding. And it was to the point that people was trying to make it seem like I changed. But the only thing I did change was I stopped smoking and I started seeing clear. But to be clear about that, when you change something, change brings change. It's impossible for you to change something and everything stays the same. It's impossible. Because especially when it's healthy change, when you're changing for the good, then it's going to trickle. It's going to trickle. It's like a vine. When a vine is growing over a tree on the side of a house, it starts to take over. So it's impossible to stay the same. And with that, you got to embrace it. And that's what I had to learn, to embrace the change. Doesn't matter how somebody else feel. If you know the change is good for you, then you need to take the initiative. So with that, a lot of things changed in that time period that I had to let a lot of people go at the time. Because where their mind state was. Not because anything else. It was just their mind state. When you reach a certain level in your mind and the people around you are staying the same, they're not growing. When you speak stuff that makes sense and they're not taking it in, then that's a sign. It's time to start changing your environment. Time to let it go. That's a clear sign. Can't sit around and wait for people to change, because people are going to change when they're ready to, or when they're supposed to. And a lot of times the change ain't going to take place until you are out of their environment, out of their energy. But when it comes to releasing toxic attachments, changing for the good, I mean, you could be around a lot of toxic stuff and don't even know it. It's just what you're used to. So the moment that you change for the good of you, it's going to trigger people around you. It's going to trigger them. They're not ready to change. They don't want to see you change. That irritates them. Instead of looking at it as if, oh, dang, you know what? I admire this person for doing something better. No, most people going to look at it as like a challenge. It's like, oh, you think you better than, or that's usually what most cases come to. It's not about being better than anybody, but when you want to do better for yourself, people going to expose themselves. But it's your job to stay aware. Me personally, I had a lot of toxic stuff around me. So when I started changing things for the good, it started to feel like my life was caving in on me. But that was the illusion. I didn't see things correctly. In order for me to receive the good in my life correctly, I have to release these toxic attachments to invite abundance, prosperity in my life. But because of what I was used to seeing and being around, it made it hard for me, and I wasn't seeing it correctly at the times. Sometimes I dealt with it correctly, sometimes it was harder, because when you start losing people around you, and if you don't fully understand the situation, then it can be looked at incorrectly. When somebody not right for you in your life, don't look at it as a bad thing. Don't look at it as nothing bad. I mean, you have a choice. You have free will in your life. But when someone's removed from your life and you see things clear, or you see things clearly and you remove them from your life, it's a good thing. That means that you're aware, you're taking charge of your world, your life. No matter how it seems, it's not about how it seems, it's about what it is. And now, I'm going to be honest, it was a battle. Because I didn't have anybody walk me through, like, okay, correctly. But to a certain point in my life, the Creator brought people into my life and I'm not going to get too deep into that, but you know, they assist me in certain ways that I had to understand what was going on. Because a lot of times we get the concept of help, we get it incorrectly. Help comes in so many different ways, and it doesn't always have to be a physical help. You can cross somebody and it could say something that triggers something in you to see things clear, and that was designed that way. It happened for a reason. But it just really depends on how you see things. But it's to a point now, once you remove all the toxicities around you, remove that out your life, and it's like a reset. You can feel your energy differently. You don't have to worry about any gossip or nonsense. And everybody's story not going to be the same, but sometimes people, they have good people around them, but depending on where your head is and where you do things, you might not see that well. One of the things with me is respect. I'm very big on respect. A lot of people, they have friends that they allow disrespectful stuff and they look at it lightly. But I'm not trying to tell anybody how to see or do anything, but disrespect is disrespect. And some people do it direct and some people do it in a light way so they can get away with it with you. But if you pay attention and you put your foot down and you correct the situation, pay attention to how they respond to you. That's going to determine the person's intentions. Are they truly there to be a hindrance and somebody misery loves company type of situation, or when you grow, they grow. When they grow, you grow type of situation. Because those are the people you should be around. Not people that's going to tear you down and convince you to do things that's going to destroy your life. Because it really don't matter how somebody do or what somebody do in their life. You still have your decision. Now, you have to understand that it's okay to be different. You don't have to do everything that somebody else do just because you're a friend of them or whatever. It's okay to be yourself. And someone that's truly there for you would accept that. So at any moment you feel pressured in any situation, you need to step back and look at that situation. Or even put it to the test. Call it out. Like, no, I don't want to do this. Or no, I want to do that. Pay attention to how they respond. Someone that truly care about your feelings and concerned about you, they're going to know. They're going to be more tuned in with you. They're going to respect your decision, but also they're going to see why you feel the way you feel about something. They're going to actually see it if they're really there for you. I mean, I made poor decisions in my past, but one thing I can say is that when it came to like friends, I didn't let too much of that affect my decision making. Even though I did make poor decisions, but it didn't take over me like a lot of people cases. Not even to compare, but inside I knew I had my own mind. I had my own vision, and I wasn't the type of person that always had to be around people Yeah, I knew a lot of people, and you might catch me in pictures with a lot of people or whatever. But in most cases, when a person seen me, I was by myself, or I was with one person, or maybe two people. Most cases, you'll find me by myself. So I was always my own person. Never be afraid to accept that. But when I started to see things clear, I mean, even to this point now, I would say I have a high standards when it comes to a lot in my life, and not even in like I wouldn't say it in a bougie way, but when it comes to protecting you and your energy, you have to have a high standards. Because it takes one to know one. And if you low vibing, 9 times out of 10, you're low vibing for a reason, because that's what you are into. But once you cross over into a high vibing situation, energy, situations will change for you, and you're not going to be willing to indulge in the same things. You're going to outgrow those toxic situations. It won't be the same. But most importantly, I would say just be aware how you feel about certain situations. Don't allow people to shut you out how you feel. Don't allow people to manipulate you. Don't allow people to interfere with your life if it's not for your greater good. And you must understand this clearly. Not everyone's going to understand who you are or what you're supposed to do. Everybody's decisions in life are different. So don't try to live somebody else's life. Try to live yours. Not try. Live your own life. Understand you. Understand why you do the things you do. The sooner you start to be clear with yourself and accepting yourself for who you are, that's when the sooner the change will come. Because you could be doing strictly negative stuff. But once you become clear with yourself, accepting of yourself, of the situation, that's going to help you make better decisions. And I'm speaking from experience. I had to be more accepting of who I am, what I was doing at the time, whatever. I had to be accepting of the things to become clear with myself. Nobody's perfect, but you can aim for perfection. I just want to put that out there. Till next time, peace.